Yes, we're going to find out just how many pools of blood this old man can score right here. But first, let's start off with this IMDb plot as usual. When a lost hiker stumbles upon an erratic old man living in the woods, he could have never imagined the nightmare that awaits. Alright, nightmare is coming as usual. So, this one I almost missed and wasn't sure whether to watch it or not. It's listed as a thriller, so I was like, I don't know, is it gonna have some horror in it for me or not? So I wasn't sure, but I've kind of grown to be a Stephen Lang fan here, so I said he's in it. So if I come across it, I'll give it a chance, and long and behold, I obviously came across it. So I checked it out. So this one, being a newer one, I'll try to keep this spoiler free, and it does have some twists and turns in it. So I'll try to be very careful with what I say here, and I guess try to keep it brief as well. But yeah, this one kind of starts off. He's in his cabin in the woods. You know, great place for horror, cabin in the woods, and he's alone. And you kind of get a good tour of the cabin as this begins, as he wakes up, as he kind of starts his daily routine. But it appears his dog is missing, and that kind of starts a little bit of aggravation in him. And then he is truly aggravated when someone comes knocking at the door. Let's just say he's an old man and he's living in the woods because he doesn't want visitors. And like I said, he's already agitated. So when this person comes and knocks on the door, he's met with a rifle in his, or I should say a shotgun or rifle, whatever, in his face, and asked a lot of questions. Stephen Lang, the old man here, is going to be quite cautious of this guy who's just shown up at his door, and kind of put him through a million questions, and trying to gauge whether he could trust him or not, whether he should shoot him, throw him out, and so forth. What is he doing in the woods? What his intentions are. The old man presumes that he's a serial killer and presumes that he's up to no good. Eventually goes through his bag and so forth. So they basically having this back and forth conversation. Obviously, the guy who showed up at the door is obviously cautious on his own. He's just supposedly looking for some help, and is kind of worried, obviously, because the old man has a gun to his face and is asking him all these questions, and knows or thinks that at any second, if he answers wrong, that could be the end of him. So a lot of this film, especially maybe, yeah, I would say, a good deal of it, especially in the first half, is just this conversation, them going back and forth, kind of feeling each other out, gaining trust, losing trust, and so forth. On both parts, the guy tries to get in a couple of questions with the old man as well, and the old man is willing to open up in certain topics. And I think one of the things that really kept me in this film early on is the discussion between them. I think there's some really good dialogue, interesting way of saying things. Obviously, Steven is on top of his game, and puts together some interesting lines. And so I really got engaged with the dialogue that was going on. And I think this is one of those movies, like I said, there are a lot of twists and turns to come in the back half of the film. So you're going to want to pay attention. And it's one of those ones where maybe at some time I'll go back and watch to see how many clues there really were. Because I would say, as I think I've told you guys before, I don't always catch the twists and turns. I mean, the typical ones in horror movies, yeah, the ones that we expect all the time, but sometimes there's other things that I miss. And as this one was going on, I was kind of caught in the which one is the really bad one here, which one is going to turn on it, and which one first. and I kind of maybe didn't include other possibilities or other things that could be going on here. So I kind of get caught in that kind of thing. Kind of like when I watch the Saws, it's always, which one besides Jigsaw is kind of in on it, which one is going to help, that kind of thing. And, I always kind of psych myself out. Like, I kind of start getting into that, and I kind of miss the obvious. I don't know how obvious the twist was here in finding it or so forth, but I'll say that when it kind of revealed itself, I was like, oh, okay, I liked that, and I didn't really, wasn't really paying attention, but like I said, kind of thinking back at a few things, I could find them, but there may have been others that I missed along the way, so you're going to want to pay attention to what is happening, a lot of the dialogue, and, in a way, they'll kind of piece it together for you, even if you're like me and you didn't quite catch what was going on. I think once it's revealed, they do a good job of putting it together so that you see, okay, that everything was there to be seen. You either caught it or not. But they also equally they do a good job of hiding it as well, at least from someone like me. And but like I said, the dialogue is really good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the way certain phrases were said and so forth, and really get caught in the old man's in his character there. And I think, let's see, Steven plays opposite Marc Center, if I said that right, and he does a good job as well. As it goes on, you just kind of get immersed in their dialogue back and forth, which is very interesting. Kind of, and it actually went somewhere kind of interesting where I think it was, what is it, House of Darkness with Justin Long, and I forgot the woman's name they played opposite of. That was also a lot of conversation, but it became fairly obvious where that was going, and then just not a lot, great. Nothing really exciting happened, or at least to entertain me. I really, just couldn't get into it. So that I liked this conversation back and forth, because, if you just have a movie and you have two primarily people going back and forth, sometimes you can get lost. This one does eventually get into a little backstory, so you will see some other characters. I'm not going to get too much into that, because then that starts opening the door for spoilers and so forth. But you will see a little bit of backstory of these characters, so that will fill in some of the blanks, and that will give you more hints, and if you kind of pay attention to that, more hints to where this is going once they start doing that more and more. But that's going to come a little ways in, once both of the characters kind of settle in and they're both in this cabin together, and realize that they're not really going anywhere, and they're in it for a while. So there will be some other characters introduced along the way, but like I said, a lot of it, especially in the beginning, is just the conversation between the two. And I don't want to get into the twist and whatever, but like I said, I think I made it clear that I liked it, I enjoyed it, and I don't want to give away. I guess it's a little bit of creepiness to it, but it was fun. It was a good twist, and I liked it. I liked how they ended the movie and so forth. And kind of one of those movies you watch, and like I said, you kind of replay it in your head about it, how it got there, and you're like, okay, it was a simple setting and simple so forth. But if you put all the pieces together, it actually comes together pretty well. So I surprisingly like this. Like I said, not huge on horror, not a ton of blood and guts, and that kind of thing like I generally like, but I ended up liking the story, and I liked the dialogue a lot. So kind of thinking about it back and forth, as I kind of think about this one, I kind of liked it more and more the more I thought of it. Like I said, it is listed as a thriller, not really horror, but that's whatever. I mean, we can go back and forth in a lot of those cases. So I'm going to give it 3.5 pools of blood. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. And, as I kind of start, it's the end of the year, kind of start thinking of the top 10 list, I don't know if it would quite make it, but it would definitely be one of those ones that kind of get a star to see. Just maybe outside of the box there, just to make sure you guys catch it, just for that ending. I mean, here on IMDb, it doesn't look like a ton of people watched it or reviewed it or so forth. It got 4.8 out of 10. But I liked it, and that was like 1,600 or so ratings. So not a lot, not a lot of fanfare. It may have, I'm surprised it didn't get a little more with Steven, but it is what it is. But I enjoyed it regardless. So again, that's 3.5 pools of blood out of 5, and yeah, it's not so bad living up there in a cabin as long as you keep your wits about you. Anyway, horrorscorereviews.blogspot.com is where you can find more of my reviews, written reviews, video reviews. You can subscribe to the channel if you're just interested in the video reviews, and trying to add other stuff along the way to the YouTube channel. So explore a little bit. If you're catching this review and you've just seen reviews, trying to do some other things to add to the channel to keep you guys entertained. And but if you're just interested in the written reviews, you can head over to the blog. Just posted a couple of Christmas themed horror ones, I should say. So they're there. And yeah, Twitter, Facebook, you can find me as well if you want to talk about this movie, some other movies, talk horror in general. Or, of course, in the comment section, if you did see this movie, if you liked the twist, try not to give it away. But if you liked it or not, let me know. Because, some people don't like the twist, or it comes too easy to them, and then it kind of ruins the movie. So you never know how that goes. So yeah, with that, I guess I will wrap this up and catch you on the next review, horror fans.